Hello, my name is Sukayna Davanzo, and I am an honors English student at Wayne State University. I'm excited to introduce and discuss my project called Jasmine and Jafar's Journey, Tracing Orientalism in Disney's Aladdin from 1992 to 2019. My time working on this project and as an undergraduate at Wayne State University has taught me the value of the English language as an area of study. Studying English has improved the way I engage with and communicate with others, and has increased my social, political, and cultural awareness. In this discussion, I hope to relate how critical this academic discipline is in raising awareness of the ways representation, diversity, and exposure are quintessential in learning about and engaging with others. As I've progressed in my degree, I was drawn particularly to literature that is written by and about underrepresented groups, cultures, religions, classes, sexes, and experiences. Literature provides us the opportunity to look back and reflect on the ways we understand and document the world around us and the way we perceive others. While narratives and storytelling can act as a reflection of public opinion, they also have the potential to incite change and be a form of resistance against stereotypes, biases, and other forms of misconceptions that have the propensity to inform not just public opinion, but also public policy, hierarchical power structures, as well as attitudes towards racism, imperialism, and colonialism. In essence, the representation that circulates media and popular culture can have serious repercussions. In this project, I focus on the representation of the East, comparing Disney's Aladdin 1992 animated film to the Disney Aladdin 2019 live-action remake. I became more aware of Orientalism through my studies because I was exposed to it a lot when I read literature from the Romantic period. From novels to poems to travel narratives, references to an exotic and othered East were abundant and forthcoming. These stories are a reflection of the growing allure and mysticism of the East that occurred in the 18th and 19th centuries that have even continued until today. As an Arab American Muslim, I'm particularly interested in studying and uncovering the many ways Orientalism presents itself in media, both implicitly and explicitly. The Disney Aladdin movies present a perfect opportunity to trace Orientalism over a period of time because Aladdin has a very unique origin and because the two movie adaptations were released 27 years apart. Aladdin was first written as part of a collection of 1001 Nights by French translator Antoine Galland in the early 18th century. 1001 Nights are a compilation of Arabic stories and folktales passed down in the oral tradition, and Galland is the first European to translate and publish them. Aladdin, however, is not part of the original tales in 1001 Nights. It was added later on due to the success and demand of the first volumes. Galland needed more content to publish, and he documented the story of Aladdin amongst other tales from Assyrian storyteller Hannah Diab. Aladdin is a story documented by and for the West, about their own perceptions of the East. The othering of another population and region of people has much more to do with those who other than those who are being othered. Galland's rendition of Aladdin reflects the West's ideas of itself in relation to the East, more than it actually accurately represents the East. Yet Aladdin became one of the most popular tales from the collection, making its biases and stereotypes increase in circulation as well. Through my research, I compared various elements of both films to determine what stereotypes and tropes have persisted and what updates the newer film has made. This comparative analysis reveals the forms of stereotyping that still exist today and are overlooked despite a growing concern over representation. I chose to focus my analysis on the representation of Jasmine and Jafar because they are the two characters that represent Orientalist perceptions about Eastern, and particularly Middle Eastern, treatment of femininity and masculinity. In the 1992 film, Jasmine was portrayed in what is now an iconic turquoise blue belly dancer outfit, one that is also worn by the belly dancers in the film. This sexualized, anachronistic outfit reflects the Western fascination and eroticism of Eastern women's bodies, particularly in enforcing the Western gaze on female-based spaces to unveil Oriental women. Jasmine is also positioned in a restrictive, oppressive society that prohibits her from expressing herself. When she escapes the castle at the beginning, she is covered in a veil, and only upon her unveiling does she reclaim authority amongst the severe guards. She is also threatened with her hand being cut off for stealing, an extreme and hyperbolic representation of Islamic law. Jasmine's representation reflects the expectation of Muslim-majority countries to be oppressive, extreme, and dangerously conservative, seemingly an antithesis to Western democracy. Yet Jasmine's expression of her autonomy in the 1992 Aladdin is limited to choosing her own husband, a superficial form of independence. In the 2019 film, Jasmine's representation is changed. Her outfit goes from a two-piece ensemble to a short-sleeved gowns. This change, however, comes with its own problems. Her outfit pulls from many different cultures without paying homage to the significance and meaning behind the traditional pieces she wears. This act of cultural erasure, combining different cultures under an overarching idea of exotic Oriental style, removes the historical and religious context that gives them meaning, which is reminiscent of Western colonization and the claiming of different cultures without knowledge of their significance to the groups they originate from. There are also changes to improve Jasmine's independence in the second film, with her ambitions set on becoming the Sultan's successor rather than choosing her own husband. Granting Jasmine more autonomy does not negate the continuation of the oppressive structures she is positioned in. Again, the scene of her being threatened to have her hand severed for stealing is a pivotal moment of the plot, one that expresses the richness of the culture she is positioned in to have to fight against in order to survive and have a voice as a woman. Framing Middle Eastern cultures and religious practices in this way vilifies them, promoting the idea of Western superiority. Jafar's representation in the two films remains consistent, as he is pictured as the evil, oppressive, misogynistic, and power-hungry villain. While these traits are common for villains, especially Disney villains, Jafar's appearance associates these traits with Middle Eastern and Muslim men. Jafar has an aquiline nose, dark brows and eyes, a beard, and wears a turban. All the guards depicted in both films also sport beards and turbans, the traditional appearance and dress of Muslim men, especially those of Middle Eastern descent. The man who threatens to cut off Jasmine's hand is also depicted in a full beard and turban, and in the 2019 film, he is one of the very few characters that has a distinct Arabic accent. While Jafar is the central villain, every male antagonist in both films is typecasted as a Middle Eastern Muslim man. The Orientalist stereotypes maintained in both films promote negative associations with the East, in particular the Middle East and Muslim-majority countries. The films portray the Middle East to fulfill the worst fears and expectations of the West, while also capitalizing on the allure, magic, and wonder surrounding the East. Exposure to this narrative without counterexamples or other more accurate representations can lead to the promotion of more Orientalism as well as ethnic and religious-based biases, beliefs that can alter public opinions and even justify imperialism, colonialism, and the exploitation of an increased presence in Middle Eastern countries. To conclude my research, I looked at the general audience's reactions to the 2019 Disney remake of Aladdin. While some viewers overlooked the Orientalism inherent in the films, many reviews acknowledged the harmful representation, superficial changes, and cultural appropriation in the films. There are also many critiques on the casting of the films, viewers noting that the actors come from a variety of different origins and countries throughout the East, which frames different Eastern cultures and ethnicities as being interchangeable. Acknowledging the power of media representation and its potential harms is crucial to begin to unlearn the implicit and explicit biases and misconceptions we have, and to be able to note when they are present in the media we consume. Acknowledgement and unlearning are the first steps to becoming a more conscientious and socially and culturally respectful member of society. Disney has taken action to acknowledge the harmful representation in the 1992 film of Aladdin, but does not attribute the 2019 version with the same stereotypes, despite the film containing many of the same biases and tropes. In a political climate when representation is celebrated, Orientalism has still slipped through the cracks. While my research revealed the perpetuation of stereotypes and Orientalist perceptions in the two Disney films, through further engagement with different narratives and voices that tell their own stories, the stereotypes promoted in one form of storytelling can be challenged and redefined through the exposure of other stories. As I continue to work studying English literature, I continue to seek out and learn from other voices and stories that are misrepresented or underrepresented in media, continually challenging myself to break down my own misconceptions, and I challenge you all to do the same. Thank you for tuning in to my presentation for the 2022 Rushton Showcase.